How to invest in an apartment building. Are you ready to take your real estate investing to the next level and get more bang for your buck by getting apartment buildings instead of buying properties one by one? Well, boy, are you smart. I'm going to tell you exactly how you do it so that you don't make any mistake. Let's go. I'm going to tell you the real process to buying an apartment building step by step so you know exactly what to expect and exactly what to do. No mistakes. I'm going to share with you some secret tips so you know if you have a good deal, if this is an apartment building you should be investing in or one that you should walk away from. And last but not least, I'm going to share with you my big secret that I discovered just a few years ago and how I went from 6 figures all the way to millionaire status with real estate. So the great thing about real estate investing is how many different ways there are for you to make money. So when it comes to real estate investing, one of the things that you have to know is that you have to start thinking differently. You do not need to think like a regular person thinks about real estate. When it comes to real estate, most people start looking at what school district it is in and how many bedrooms it has and all of these other things, if it has stainless steel appliances and all of these wonderful things that we love, but mostly stuff that we found on HGTV that really has nothing to do with making money. But when it comes to real estate investing, we are talking about how to make money with real estate. We basically see real estate just as a commodity that we can make money on. You either want to take your rental properties and rent them out and get cash flow income, or you want to fix and flip properties, either whether it be single family homes or apartment buildings. Again, you want to improve them and make more money off of them and then sell them for a profit. Or you want to keep properties for a little bit, some buy and holds, let them go up in value, and then eventually sell them. So whatever it is that you are wanting to do in real estate, you need to start thinking like a real estate investor. Stop looking and thinking about all of the things that they teach you on TV and start thinking, okay, how can I make money with real estate? And one of the best things and the smartest things that you already seem to know is that you need to start looking at apartment buildings. So let's talk about that. So when it comes to real estate investing, we have different types of properties. We have single family residences, which are just homes that only one family can live in, mostly one units, condos or houses, whether they be attached or detached. A detached is just a single family home that sits by itself, or an attached home is like a townhouse or a row home. So there's different types of residencies, but we want to now talk about multi-units. When you're talking about investing in apartments, you want multi-units. You can either do a residential type of unit, like a 2 to 4 unit, which is a 2 unit, a duplex, or a 3 unit, or a 4 unit. And those are a lot easier to get if you're a first-time home buyer. But if we're actually talking about an apartment building, we're talking about commercial residential real estate. And that is going to consist of 5 units and more. So when it comes to commercial real estate and apartment buildings, you need to think differently. You're not going to be able to get traditional financing or traditional mortgage like you would with a 1 to 4 unit. Once you move into the realm of 5 units and up, you will need a commercial lender in order to finance those properties. And those properties have a different process on how you will go about managing them and even how you will purchase them. So let me tell you that part. So when it comes to buying apartment buildings, one of the things that I have found, and I'll tell you my story really quickly, is that they can be way more profitable. So when I started investing in real estate, I really focused on single family homes. Literally, when I quit my job and I was able to invest in real estate full time, I had amassed a portfolio of single family homes of over 40 homes. And it was providing me a very good rental income. I was getting well over $200,000 a year just from my rental properties. But like I said, I needed 40 properties just to get to that number. Additionally, because they were single family homes, I had a property manager for each of them. I had an electric bill for each of them. I had a utility bills. Every single property had its own taxes. It had its own insurance. There were a lot of expenses tied to each home because they were single family residences. But when I started to graduate and say, okay, I want to do things bigger, and I started going into multi-units, of course, I started with some multi-units like 2 to 4 units. But then when I got to small apartment buildings like 8 units, 10 units, 12 units, I found that they were way more profitable. And that is because I would only have one tax bill, one insurance bill, one property manager taking care of that one property. Instead of having all of my units all spread out and having all of those expenses for every single unit, I was able to now consolidate and have every expense at that one place. And then that one place was providing me lots of rental income. Additionally, if you just have one house and the tenant moves out, now you have no income coming from that house. But if you have an apartment building, let's just use a round example. Just say you have a 10-unit apartment building and one of the people moves out, you still are at a 90% occupancy because 9 out of those 10 units are still filled up. Additionally, this is a great way to work. You get to have less expenses, all of them consolidated in one place, and now you only have to find tenants for this one place, so that helps so much more and it's more profitable for you. So now that I am investing in apartment buildings, let me tell you what I look for. I have a company called Nuurez, NUUREZ.com. You actually can go to our website and check us out if you want to. But we are investing in properties that we can do short-term rentals on. And one of our key things that we like to do is buy small apartment buildings. That way we can actually diversify what type of tenants we have. Using that same example, if we have a 10-unit, I don't have to make all 10 of those units short-term rentals. I can make 5 of them long-term rentals and I can make 5 of them short-term rentals. That way I have a different mix coming in and different levels of income coming in. Obviously, the short-term rentals are a little bit more profitable than your long-term rentals. So I find that that's a really great way to do things. However, with the short-term rentals, it requires different type of property management, different type of cleaning companies to come in and clean those properties. So it is a little bit different to manage. So I'm able to get the best of both worlds with my apartments by diversifying what type of tenants I will do and what I do with those units. And you can do the same thing. So if you want, again, go check out Nuurez.com, NUUREZ.com. But what I want you to garner from this lesson is that apartment buildings offer you different opportunities. You don't have to just take that apartment building and do what they were already doing with it. You literally can find ways to increase the rent and to turn some of those units into short-term rentals if the county allows you to do that, and you can make a lot more money. This is what I've done, and this is how I've found that I'm able to improve my properties faster, better, keep them better maintained, and make even more money in them. So let me tell you some couple of things that you need to look at before you buy anything. So before you buy any apartment building, you want to look at what they call the T12. That is your trailing docs for the past 12 months for that apartment. You want to look at what neighborhood it is in. Many times apartment buildings will be for sale and we grade them by class, A, B, or C, C being the worst. And what I've noticed, and I'm so sorry, but I have to be honest, so many new investors, they think that they have to only buy C-grade properties in the ghetto, in the worst areas. They feel like this is all that they can afford. This is where they need to start. And that is a big myth. You do not want to buy an apartment building in a low-performing area with high-risk tenants. That's actually the worst thing that you can do as a new investor. You want to buy a solid property that can be fixed up or has already been fixed up. One of the two. Either you have the money to improve it and you're going to build equity in that property, or the current owner has already fixed the property up and made it valuable and you can just turnkey. You can just go, put your tenants in it and start making money. You really want to only do one of those two things, but you don't want to go into a neighborhood where there's high-risk tenants, where there's Section 8 housing, where there's a lot of crime, where the economics are bad. You want to start looking and buy properties that you can afford, of course. Okay, I'm not saying you're going to be able to go out and buy 100-unit buildings and things like that, but do not just go for the first thing that you can afford. Don't set a low budget and then get a crappy property. You want to look at how well the property is performing before you ever buy it. Look through the documents and see how profitable is the property. What was the net income? What are the average rents? Are they below market or above market? In other words, when you take that property over, could you increase the rents and make more money? Or all of the tenants in such a bad area that that's all the rent that you can get? You really want to look at some of these things, and this is how you analyze an apartment building. Because you don't want to buy someone else's problem, okay? I know I told you before in other videos that you want to be a problem solver, but when it comes to buying an apartment building, no. Only experienced investors should be buying apartment buildings, so only an experienced investor should be buying a good property. An experienced investor does not want to buy somebody else's crap or somebody else's problem. We only want to buy things if it's a problem that we can solve and make money off of. So start to think about that. So another great thing about apartment buildings where you can get them very easily, much different than a 1 to 4 unit, is you can usually leverage seller financing. So because apartment buildings often are seller finance, meaning the seller will either finance the property and hold the mortgage, or they will hold a second mortgage where they basically gave you most of the down payment, This is why it's a little bit easier to get apartments than it is sometimes other properties. When you are looking for financing for apartment buildings, they will look at how profitable the property is more so than they will look at your own credit and experience. That's the great thing. Because apartments are designed to make money and they're an income producing asset, lenders and banks that lend on apartment buildings will look to make sure that that property is profitable and it is a good investment for them and for you. And coupled with the fact that you can get seller financing where the owner of that building will give you money to buy it or take a mortgage out for you where you just pay them directly, you can get those properties for almost little to no money out of pocket, or you can borrow all of the money for the down payment, and that's completely legal, and they let you do it in the commercial residential world, but not in the, 1 to 4 unit world. So great benefit there. And my last bonus tip, again, I could not end without sharing this with you. The last bonus tip that you should do when investing in apartment building is use business credit and use business funding. So if you have not already done so, please check out my video on how to build business credit. I have all this content where I'm teaching you how to do this. You literally can have all of the business funding pay for and be the down payment and the working capital for your apartment building. That way you never have to worry about that property going into foreclosure or not being able to fix something if it gets broken. Make sure that you go ahead and leverage your business credit, get that established so you have those funds available before you ever go buy an apartment building. Okay, so I have created an entire free training that will teach you my complete formula on how to invest in real estate, make big profits without losing money. Check it out at noelsfreetraining.com. Again, that's noelsfreetraining.com. I want to also ask you at this time to go ahead and like this video. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click that little notification bell so you don't miss any of this content that I'm bringing you every single weekday for free. I'm trying to give you all of the content, all of the information, all the knowledge that you need to be successful. This is Noel, to your success.